doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off.
Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins. I'm your host. So we started the show a little bit earlier today to bring on the head coach of Jefferson softball team, Allan Bailey, just to talk a little bit about his group. They also had a dominant run this past postseason in the slow pitch, making it to the state championship before losing to Creekview. Had another great year also in fast pitch during the fall. So we're going to get the latest and greatest from him. Talk a little bit about the latest in sports, including the track and field state championships will be this weekend. And we'll also explore some other things as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him on. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me. I'm looking forward to chatting with you.
Yes, sir. You and me both, man. And, Coach, I want to kind of just start, if you can, tell us a little bit about your journey before you arrived at Jefferson. I know you were at Appalachia for 7 years, Coach. What was that kind of like learning from that program and being to have this opportunity to come to Jefferson?
Yeah, and so I thoroughly loved my time at Appalachia. We were able to accomplish a lot of great things and a lot of great experiences, a lot of great memories that I'll cherish a lifetime. But being able to come to a place like Jefferson and a rich tradition of excellence is just something that I was really fortunate to be able to do. And, living in this community for a while, I just knew that eventually this was going to be a place where I wanted to call home.
No doubt, Coach. And then I heard when you were coaching, you were also the head softball coach at Appalachia, and you were the head baseball coach. So how did you balance both of those sports at the same time and still be able to be as successful as you were?
Yeah, it was a tough thing. First, I'm just having a great, wife at home to take care of our two little kids. That's a support system at home to allow me to do those things because I love both the games, but it does take a lot out of you and a lot of time away from home. But I had two really good coaching staffs that were able to, support me when I was at one or the other, and that was really key. And, anytime that you got really good, that helps make the job a lot easier too. So, that really was a big part of being able to do both. Got a lot of experience there too.
No doubt about it. And then speaking about last year's team, another great year for you guys, 19 wins. Just talk a little bit about last year. I believe you guys made it to Sweet 16 playing against Cartersville. What was that run like with those girls? I mean, you had a special team. We'll obviously talk about some of those players you had last year, but what was that run like as a coach?
Yeah, making, the playoffs and making a run first year at a new school is really, you really kind of want to solidify and, prove that they made the right hire and that kind of thing. And, we walked in and, immediately we set the expectation and the standard of, us wanting to, make a state title run each and every season. And we had a great group to work with. And, unfortunately we didn't, make it past the Sweet 16, but, we set a really good foundation to build off of and to, future teams to look back on and see where we did well and hopefully look to, improve every year.
No doubt. And speaking of that and improving, Coach, you actually have softball trials this week. So from your perspective, Coach, just tell me, what are some things you look for girls that are trying now? Obviously, you're going to have your staples that are coming back from last year, but the new people that come into the team, what do you look for and what does a certain player need to have, whether that's outfield, center field, need to have to kind of make your team?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is just coming out with a positive attitude, a lot of great work ethic. These girls play softball at a really high level, and just being able to see who they are as people is a great, way that we kind of evaluate our players. We want to get to know them. Obviously, being a really skilled and talented softball player is great, but you got to mesh and you got to be able to, fall in line with the culture that we've got in the dugout in the locker room. And we just want to make sure that the new players coming in kind of understand how we do things and what we are about, and, we're a family oriented program. We really believe in playing for each other and, playing for that, Diamond J. And, we start kind of from there and work, we can teach the fundamentals of the game, but, we really want it on the person and the player that's inside the jersey and not just, what they can do on the field.
Without a doubt, and I was going to actually ask you about that a little bit, just about the culture, but you explaining some of those things, being family oriented and things like that, doing it for the back of the jersey at the front, or doing it for the front of the jersey at the back. But Coach, tell me about just a little bit about the soft or slow pitch. Did you also coach that section?
Yeah, so the slow pitch was great. I mean, we use it as an opportunity to just be together. The GHSA does a fantastic job with marketing it and getting as many, teams involved. And I hope that it continues just to grow and grow because it's a great event. And, we used it as just an opportunity to be together, from February till middle of April. We're practicing and we're playing and the girls are together. And, the defensive side of the game is just so, with slow pitch, every ball is put in play, and the girls are getting tons of great defensive reps. And then just the team chemistry piece is something that I'm huge on, and just being able to have the girls together, the bus rides, going out to eat, all those things really just make our team chemistry that much stronger. And, they all play their travel ball on the weekends and that kind of thing, but being able to just, continue to have our girls together and around our coaching staff and, being together is just the biggest thing. And, when you win a lot of games, it makes things a lot funner too. And, we had some really good success. Unfortunately, we lost to a big powerhouse of Creekview, but, we had some good experience. And I think that this is something that we will build off of and hopefully bring that, state championship trophy home to Jefferson soon.
And two-part question, Coach, just enlighten me a little bit because I'm still kind of a novice to softball, but obviously slow pitch, fast pitch. Obviously, the pitch is slower, but you talked about kind of the defensive element of it as well being a little different than fast pitch. But what are some other things that are kind of different between those two, if you had to say maybe just offensively more runs? Like what else kind of goes into that slow pitching instead of fast pitch?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the defensive side. I mean, every ball is put in play. I mean, it's underhand. It's kind of like that old school, like church league style. But the players love hitting. It's easier to hit, and it's exciting, man. Like we were in the state championship game, and there's home runs flying left and right. I mean, people are making diving plays. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. I mean, the girls, it's a whole lot less pressure. And the girls have fun, and it's, when they get to go out there and compete and, the fast pitch, there's a lot of failure, because it's a really difficult game. And, with the slow pitch, I mean, that ball's coming in there and they're, really teeing off on it. And they get to go out there and play with their friends, play with the girls they go to school with. I mean, that's just a really big, great part about that game.
Got you. Let me ask you this, Coach, as well, because I don't know, but as far as conditioning, Coach, what is that like as far as just on the softball realm? What are some things you do? I know you got your girls. I know you say you got practice at 4 and try to be aware of your time. But what are some things you got to do, Coach, as far as conditioning to make sure you're ready? Obviously when those balls go out in the outfield and you got to go catch them down. What's some conditioning things you do?
Yeah, so we are really big on, explosiveness, really big on our speed and agility. We have all of our girls in weight training year-round, and we've got a tremendous strength and conditioning coordinator that puts workouts together, not only just for softball, but for all of our athletes. And we really focus on trying to be as fast and as strong that we can be. Specifically softball, we are trying to be really fast in a short, amount of space, really able to change directions quickly on the defensive side, being athletic. quick twitch. All of those things are very important in the game of softball. And so we use tsunami bars a good bit in the weight room just to to train our muscles to be fast and to stabilize quickly and then be ready to explode again. And those are really some things that we do year round. I mean, from the summer, I mean, they're all in our weight training during the day. I mean, it's just a really good program that we've built that, really gets the most out of our athletes.
No doubt. And speaking of summer, Coach, I know you got a softball camp coming up June 3rd through the 5th. So just talk a little bit about that, Coach. I want to shed some light on that and kind of talk about the great camp you got coming up.
Yeah, so our kids camp in the summer is just one of the my favorite times of the year because you get to have a lot of fun with the future Dragons that are out in our community, and they come and they get led by our current players, our current coaches. We bring a lot of former college players back, and we teach the game, we teach fundamentals and skills, and we have a lot of competitions. And I think the most famous thing is our slip and slide. We practice some slide and practice, and they get out there and we get a fire hose, and they have a lot of fun doing that way. And we have a lot of competitions and play some games and some dance parties. You got to cater to the little girls out there, but it's a really fun time, fun week, and it lets our girls give back to the community. It allows us to get to know some of our future players, and it's a really cool time that we get to have on the field together.
Yes, it sounds like a lot of fun. And for those that want to participate, Coach, where's the location at, and what time will you be having it?
Yeah, so we play it on our high school field. We get them in our high school indoor facility. They use our high school locker rooms, all of the things that our players do. So they can sign up on our Jefferson High School website, and we would love to have them come and play and to Jefferson and learn how we do things here. It's a really special place, and people here, it's a great community.
No doubt. Well, anybody that's watching, definitely go check that out at their high school website. It'll be definitely a fun camp. Now, Coach, I want to talk about some of your players. I know you got some coming back, so I want to start with your risers here. Gillian Price, she was named GACA's second team All-State last year. Just talk about her impact on this team throughout the course of her career and even last year, what she's meant to kind of the Dragons.
Yeah, she was just a huge piece, not only on the offensive side, but defensive-wise. I mean, she patrolled center field for us. Just had an incredible year. She's a great human first and foremost. That's one thing that we, really strive is to try to be the best, human that we can be while we're out there. Softball will be over eventually for everybody, but she's a hard worker. She stays early. It's not a secret to the success that she has. She's put in the work. She's just a fantastic teammate. We're looking forward to a great senior year. She's got some good opportunities hopefully coming up for college commitments and things. And so we're really looking forward to seeing how her recruitment, continues during her senior year and this summer. And she's just a fantastic player. And we need her to have another great year for us.
No doubt, Coach. And then you got a couple more that are really good, Reagan Hayes and then Addison Self. Tell me about those two and also kind of their impacts and what they've meant to your team.
Yeah, Reagan's another just tremendous young lady. She can play anywhere on the field. Had a great year. Actually, her older sister just graduated. Avery played for us, and it's a great family. And she's one of those players that she's always dirty after every game. She plays so hard. She's a joy to coach. She's one that can do everything, and she just is always smiling, and is just a really great young lady. Addison's our pitcher. She's returning from a great junior year. We're really looking forward to seeing what she will do for us for her senior year. She's committed to Brunel University, and with her in the circle, we really feel like our team has a really good shot this fall to make another run at the state championship.
And then the last name I wanted to talk about was your star freshman, Jenna Rapp. She had a big season. Was named Region Player of the Year last year. So kind of talk about her hitting the ground running as a freshman and having a big impact. Talk about her.
Yeah, well, Jenna, she's special, man. She's an incredible athlete, incredible softball talent. She's a player that I knew, before I took it, that she was going to be a really special player. But what I didn't know about her was, who she was as a person. I mean, she's just a great young lady, very humble. When you got that kind of talent, it's she's just one that she's extremely coachable. She's fun to coach. She wants to do and go and always do the extra little things that make her a great player. And she's fun to watch, man. She'll make plays and hit balls that you're just like, wow. She's only a freshman, like you said, and these next 3 years, I mean, we're looking forward to her just having, just a tremendous career here at Jefferson. And we know that she's going to do great things in the future, and we're just excited to be able to watch that. And she makes everybody around her better too, which is a great attribute of a player. And she's a tremendous young lady for sure.
No doubt. And then, Coach, obviously, I love to highlight this, one of my favorite segments, just the underrated, kind of overlooked players. A lot of people don't always, give them the praise, or the media doesn't, but they just do the job well. They come in, they do everything you ask them to do. Who are some of those players for you, whether it's last season or coming into this season?
Yeah, we have so many of those. I really love all the girls that we've got on our roster. We've got several players coming back. One of our seniors, Natalie Beck, she's our catcher. She's one. I mean, catchers have such a tough job, where they're constantly getting beat up and working overtime with the pitchers. And I mean, she just does a great job leading our team. But we've got Sarah Grace Cooper is another one that is just leads by example. She's going to be a sophomore. Allie Baldwin in the outfield is going to be a junior, and she's just a tremendous young lady. We've got just so many great kids that it makes coaching here at Jefferson fun, and we really feel like we're going to have a special season in the fall.
No doubt. Okay, Coach, so tell me, what's kind of the timeline now? Okay, we're in May. Obviously, we know you got tryouts coming up, and we know about the camp, but what's kind of the timeline after the trials are over? You add a couple other pieces to your roster. What does that kind of look like? Because I know summer is a lot of travel ball, but, soon as August hits, softball is back, especially for GHSA. So what does that kind of look like right now for you?
Yeah, so we'll have our team finalized this week. And then, once dead week is over, that first dead week in May, I mean, we hit the ground running. We're actually in max week right now in the weight room. So they're max this week. They'll have about 2 weeks off. And then once that, Memorial Day is over, 1st of June, we hit the ground running from, we're lifting 4 days a week. We're continuing to work and push the envelope to see how much, we can build that engine leading into our season. And then, we play a full schedule of games over the summer. We play a couple times a week in June, a couple times a week in July. But also during those times, we do a book study every summer. We spend a lot of time together away from the field as well. We'll do some, summer retreats. We're going to take the girls on a couple trips. And, we just try to spend as much time as we can together. We do some fun things where we invite the dads to come practice with us during the summer. That's always a fun thing. The moms will help decorate the locker room. And, I mean, we just do a lot of that team building stuff to kind of, prepare us for the grind of the season once August gets here. One thing that we're looking forward to is we're taking a opening weekend trip down to Savannah, first weekend in August. So we've got, 5 or 6 games that we're going to play down in Savannah and, stay together and eat together and see some really great competition. So that's kind of what we've got going on. We've actually got one of our big fundraisers coming up. It's a golf tournament at the Currahee Club, which is a really exclusive club up in Toccoa. So we're preparing for that. So we can have a bunch of sponsors and teams come play and support our team for that. And, we're just looking forward to a great summer, preparing for our season coming up.
No doubt. Well, a couple more, I'll let you go, Coach. I know you got to get to practice. What was your favorite just moment or play from this past season that, whether that was slow pitch or fast pitch? What was kind of your favorite moment from the season with the girls?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many that we had, so many big-time moments. I think, just all of them together, being my first year, and that's one thing I told all of our players and families is just getting to know the girls and seeing the successes and seeing the team kind of come together. But obviously, anytime that you play for a state championship, that's one that you'll always remember. And I think, the bus ride home after that and stopping to eat and just kind of celebrating together as a team, that was really a fun and special moment that I had. And, it's one thing. I mean, not everybody gets to experience that, and just being able to do that together is a big part. And so that, to me, was kind of the favorite moment of the year, and we're looking to have many more of these coming up.
No doubt, Coach. All right, last two. Kind of want to ask you a little bit of what do you think of just like the growth of the sport in softball? We see how big it is, obviously, in NCAA and things like that with the regionals and the playoffs and the postseason tournament. So what do you think about the growth of the sport on the high school realm? You've been around it for a long time. Just what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I've got a background in baseball, and, the game of softball is such a difficult game. I think one thing that, I do is, I just appreciate what it takes to be, to play the game at such a high level. And, one thing that we did a couple weeks ago is we took the girls to a UGA softball game. And it's just one of those things where it was a sold out stadium on a Wednesday, during the week. I mean, it's a game. It's a fast paced game. There's so much that can be taught to the game of softball, but the sport is growing rapidly. I've got a 6-year-old daughter. She loves it. I just, think this game is in a great spot. The game of women's basketball is exploding. I just think women's sports in general are just exploding, and it's fun to be a part of. And I think that's one thing I try to encourage our girls, just to be the best athlete and go chase the dreams that they've got, because there's so many great opportunities that they have through all sports.
No doubt. And last question, Coach. I know obviously you can't do it alone. I'm sure you got a great coaching staff. Just tell us a little bit about them and the people that help you put this together. You talked about some of the events you got coming up, the camps, going on certain trips. Just talk about the coaching staff along with yourself.
Yeah, so I'm very blessed to have a tremendous group of coaches around our program. That's one thing that, I'm really take a lot of time and pride in, is making sure that we surround our players with the best. And, we were talking to the girls yesterday. We've got Jamie Pledger. She played at the University of North Georgia. Lindsay Newcomb, she played at the University of Georgia. Hannah Medlem, she played at Radford University. So we've got three outstanding female coaches that played the game at a high level, know what it takes to be successful, but also know what it's like to, deal with what it takes to be a successful high school softball player. I can't necessarily relate to the female side of that, but I have surrounded myself with great coaches. We've got Vance Medlum's our pitching coach. He's been around the game for a long, long time, is so knowledgeable. He's got so much experience. And so you partner that with, everybody that we've got on staff. We've got Joseph Laird is a new addition to our staff this year. He really brings some, energy to our staff. Really detailed scouting report is, thing he is really passionate about. And then Chris Bateman's our recruiting coordinator. He's a huge part of our program. He helps us in so many ways, from getting the girls, noticed and recruited. He's able to open a lot of doors for us, and we're just really blessed to have so many people that positively impact our program. And then the administration here at Jefferson High School has just given us so much great things and so many great things, and just really blessed to be surrounded by so many great people.
No doubt about it, Coach. Well, Coach Bailey, I thank you so much for coming on and talking a little bit about your Dragons and kind of putting me up on a little bit of things about softball and obviously your great program. Wishing you good luck, Coach, and hopefully I get to have you on before the season.
All right, thanks a lot for everything you do for high school sports in general, and just all that you guys are doing. So I really appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Go Dragons.
All right, go Dragons.
All right, guys. So there goes the head coach, Bailey. Appreciate him coming on, just spend a little bit of time before they have practice. Supposed to come on at 4, but it got rained out yesterday, so they're about to have practice in about 4 to 5 minutes. So just appreciate him showing a little bit of time and being able to come on here and talk to us. So we'll take one quick short break, thank our sponsors, and be back on the other side.
What you doing?
Hey, Just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation. Unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
All right, welcome back, guys. So as you guys know, it is a big weekend. It is championship weekend across all major sports. You have soccer state championships, you have lacrosse state championships, and you also have track and field state championships. So a bunch to talk about there. But we'll go ahead and start with some latest news around girls basketball, and that is going to be the veterans. Veterans just hired their new girls basketball coach, Coach Tracy Finley. Hired her. She has over 20 years of head coaching experience, and the hire was made last week on May 3rd, or officially announced. So she would be the new head coach there for their program. So that was some major news there on the basketball side. We'll keep rolling. We'll go to tennis real quick. Wesleyan girls tennis, they advanced to the state finals. Last week they came off a 3-0 victory against Columbus. On Thursday, Sophie Gibbs, she won at number 1 in the singles. Alexa Chase won at number 3 singles for 2 of the Wolves' 3 points. And then Kate Stoll and Ava Tsai earned a point in doubles. The Region 3A champs, or Region 7 3A champions, will face Oconee County for the state championship May 11th. So this weekend, Saturday, in the state championship. Boys unfortunately fell, but the girls will play in the state championship against Oconee County. So thought that was some super cool news on the tennis side as well, to wrap that up. And then also had a big commitment as well out of Savannah Christian. That is Maggie Koreakides. She plays volleyball. She officially committed to Alabama University. So special honor for her to go play there, her college ball. Super cool thing to kind of see there. So wanted to give her a shout out on the show as well. And as you guys know, on Max Preps, they officially announced their way too early Max Preps girls basketball top 25 this past week. And at number 4, it looks like the only Georgia team on the list will be Hebron Christian. As you guys know, they had a successful season this past year. They went 32-2, and then they finished top 10 in their final top 25 rankings. But they've been having a strong season. Obviously, you know about all the great players they had, the Aubrey Beckhams of the world, and being able to go and win. I think it was the Throne National Tournament. They ended up winning it all. So had a really great year. Finished it off with that national championship. And obviously, we know how great of a head coach that they have. And Jane Asar, she's been doing her thing and added another state championship, well over double digits now in her career. So thought that was pretty cool to see. Obviously, you know, basketball's way off right now. It's just going to be AAU ball, or basically summer ball up until probably about June, which is kind of actually ironic, is live period. And now you'll see schools start, you know, gathering together, taking trips, and playing different schools across the country and what they're able to do. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. So that's what we got there. And then Craig actually just had a great post that's up on AJC. So he talked about some of the top track and field positions to watch. So we'll look at that just real quick. So the Lady Lions, they topped 2018 state champion Marietta, won their 7th all-time state title in the process of that one. See if we can find some more girls. Okay, so it looks like this year Madison Gardner, Taylor Galate, Sydney Glee, and Chelsea Williams will anchor the 4x100 relay team for Woodward Clash of Champions. And it looks like Region rivals Greater Atlanta Christian and Cambridge headlined the girls' Class 5A field. Greater Atlanta Christian, or GAC, and Cambridge finished first and second place, respectively, on the girls' side. Spartans finished with 61 points. Cambridge tallied 54.50 for the runner-up total. The two state champion hopefuls squared off in the Region 6 5A championships last month and finished in a tie for first place with 146 each on that side. Let's see. All right, and then looks like in 4A, you have Westminster dominated last year with 124 to eclipse Druid Hills and Pace Academy, who had 64 and 54 respectfully. And then it looks like it's going to be the return of Grace Smith, who left last year's championship meet with the most points out of any athlete in the state. Smith, she broke her own school record in the long jump last week with a 20-inch 1.75 distance, and is among the top jumpers in the nation. So I thought that was super cool. Get the full, obviously, state championship preview on ajc.com. Obviously, Craig did a really great job with that as well. All right. Let's see if we can hit one more sport. Looks like that's all boys. All right, we will keep rolling. All right, so in other news, we got Lovett's Malia Allan. She just set a state record in the pole vault. 2024, she is a senior with a distance of 9 inches and 6. She beat her previous record. She also qualified for the GHSA state meet this weekend. She finished 8th in sectionals, but she set a new school record for Lovett with her pole vault distance. So special shout out to her with a 9 and 6 inch time or distance, I should say. So want to give her a shout out as well. And then obviously one of the big ones, I wrote about it as well. But this past weekend was the semifinals for lacrosse. So I definitely wanted to break that down. We got some really interesting games coming up as well. So 7-8 girls, it's interesting. So we got a rematch of last year's state championship. That's between West Forsyth and Milton. So Milton won pretty handily last year. They beat them 14-5 this year. So they're 3-0 in the last couple of matchups. And they're also area foes, so they play each other pretty frequently. But West Forsyth has had a pretty awesome run to get here. And West Forsyth pulled off a really good win against Walton, holding them to only 5 points in the win. They got out to an early start, 4-1 start, before racking it off and being able to win as well. And then a key player to note in this one is Bryn Burkholz. She has 76 goals this season. She's been tough to stop. So obviously it's going to be can the Milton defense, which has been really good this past postseason, eliminate their opponents. They held North Gwinnett to only 3 goals. So they've been great all year defensively. It's going to be interesting to see can Bryn kind of be that difference maker, that player that can kind of scorch the defense a little bit. So that is the state championship. And then obviously Milton is going for, their 17th. They already have the most in GHSA history, but that would be historic again for them. There's not really anybody close. Closest team is Blessed Trinity as well. But that'll be 7-8. And then 5A, 6A, I think is going to be the most intriguing one. And as I was saying, is one of my sleepers or contenders was Cambridge. They handled Chattahoochee this past weekend with a 21-5 victory, scoring a lot of goals. They've been doing that all year. They gave Milton, I think, in state their toughest test all year, an 11-9 victory that Milton was able to pull out. So those two going against each other, and then Blessed Trinity, a lot of history on the line. They're looking for their first ever 4-peat in program history. So I think that would be intriguing as well. And Creekview really gave them a good game. It was 10-10 at one point. They were going back and forth before they were able to score 4 unanswered goals, kind of create a little bit of distance, a little bit of separation before pulling off the victory 15-12 in regulation. So those two went back and forth. And the Grizzlies, they had a really good year. It's back-to-back years, starting to become a really, staple program here in the GHSA, winning 18-plus games in the past 3 seasons, and they've been in deep playoff runs all of those runs as well. So I think that's going to be a really intriguing one. The 5A, 6A one really has my interest as well. And then on the girls' side, obviously we talk about the boys on Thursday, but the girls' side will be Wesleyan versus Westminster. The girls and the boys are playing each other, so I think that's super cool. A lot of bragging rights going to be there, obviously, with 2 big rivals, going neck and neck. I think it will be super, super intriguing to see what they're able to do. But Wesleyan ended up pulling out a win. Stars Mill had a phenomenal year. I had them number one most of the year, but they won 14-5. Dominant second half in that one. Actually, Stars Mill led at one point. They had scored three unanswered goals at one point in that game before Wesleyan kind of put their foot, kind of on their necks and was able to pull away. So they outscored them 9-2 in the second half after trailing earlier in that game. So I think that says a lot. And Wesleyan has had a pretty good offense all year, scoring double figures in every game except against Fellowship Christian this season. So I think that says a lot. And then on the other side, Westminster, they've been in my top 5 all season. They beat East Forsyth, who had a really great year. Can't dispute what they were able to do this year. And disappointingly, it was their third lowest scoring output on the season. But they had their best season in program history and made their first ever semifinals. So that says a lot. Senior Allie Gracie was phenomenal for them. 58 goals this past year for the Broncos. And as you said, East Forsyth is kind of a newer program as well. So for them to make that kind of a run and be able to get that deep definitely says a lot. And they are moving in the right direction and building their program. And in West Forsyth, in that win against them 19-6, they've just been able to be really efficient so far in this postseason run, right? Scoring 20 goals in the first 2 games in the postseason. They've outscored their opponents 61-24 during this run as well. So they got some pretty intriguing matchups on the girls' side. I mean, West Forsyth Milton, can West Forsyth finally kind of get over the hump? The boys did it last year against Lambert. Can they, finally get over the hump in girls and hand Milton, their first in-state loss of the year, and then 5A, 6A. Blessed Trinity looking for the 4-peat. Can we get an upset of, Cambridge being able to come in and get a win? And then the 2 rivals, Wesleyan and Westminster, going head-to-head as well. So that would be super intriguing. And then a little bit about the schedule I wanted to point out to you guys actually real quick. So action actually starts Thursday. So that would start Thursday at 5 p.m. That would be the girls that will start first. Give you guys a little bit about the schedule. Okay, so the first matchup will be Wesleyan Westminster. Game starts at 5, then followed by the boys at 7 p.m. Same matchup, Wesleyan versus Westminster. And then Friday will actually be 7A. So it'll be Milton versus West Forsyth at 5, followed by the 7A boys, Buford and Lambert. And then Saturday you will have 5A, 6A, which will be Blessed Trinity versus Cambridge at 2 p.m. So that is the schedule. Those are the teams that are going to go against each other. It was a lot of fun covering the semifinals and seeing who came out on top as well in lacrosse. It's been fun covering it all year, but it's coming down to a close. So make sure you go to scoretl.com for the full coverage of the state championship round, and also ajc.com. There will be posts on both of those sites for the lacrosse. So can't wait for that. That would be a lot of fun. So we're going to take another quick short break. Thank our sponsors. Be back with a little bit more news before we wrap with my top 5.
Hey, is the power off on this?
I don't know. Just take it off. Safety violation. Unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at georgiaconstructioncareers.com.
What you doing?
Hey, just finishing this claim to get Dave back on the road.
Nice. I wonder what Dave's doing.
You do your thing. We've got you covered.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we're going to hit soccer real quick as well. As we mentioned, that's one of the sports that will be this weekend. Another great state championship guide as well. You guys can go check that out on scoretl.com. But a couple of programs actually going for their first ever state championship this weekend. That would be Buford in 7A for the girls' side, Cambridge in 5A, Mount Perrin in 2A, Lake Oconee Academy in Class A Division 2, and then those will be the programs trying for their first ever girls state championship. So a little bit of history on that side as well. On the girls side as well, you got a little bit of of dominance, and it starts with the Maris. They lead with 11 state championships, including championships in 2013, through 2014, 2018, and 2022. Behind Maris, you have Lovett. They have 5 titles: 2001, 2005, 2006, 2021, and 2022. GAC, they won 3 titles in 2022, 2024, and 2025. Padea, Class A Division 1, has won 3 titles in 01, 2000, and 2013. West Forsyth has won 2 titles, 2021, 2022, as well. They're going to be in the state championship after their phenomenal run. We had their head coach on a few weeks ago, head coach Jason Galt, as well. But they are back. Have had some really great history the last few years and have been dominant so far in this half decade as well. You have Fellowship Christian. They've won titles in 2016 and 2023. And then Wesleyan has won titles in 2017 and 2019. And then you have Roswell, North Oconee, Oconee County, Aquinas, and Social Circle each have 1 championship in their history. And then 4 defending state champions in the girls' side on soccer. Roswell girls won the program's first state title last season and advanced back to the 6A state championship match. Oconee County won 3A title last year. Its first and returns to the 3A championship. Aquinas won a program first last season and is back in the Class A Division 2 match. And then Fellowship Christian 2A has 2 titles and is trying for his 3rd title after winning in 2016 on that side. All right, so how the matches are going to go, kind of a little bit of the schedule. So Class A Division 2, girls, boys will be Tuesday, which will be today at Mercer. The girls, Aquinas at Lake Oconee Academy, 5 p.m. And then you have Class A Division 1 girls. They're going to play also today, Social Circle at Padea at 5 p.m. Wednesday or tomorrow, Class 2A, Fellowship Christian versus Mount Parent at 5 p.m. Class 3A girls, you're going to have Oconee County versus Wesleyan at 5 p.m. at McEachern. And then Class 4A girls, you're going to have Lovett versus North Oconee at Duluth. Then you have Thursday's schedule. Class 5A, you have girls, same at Duluth. Girls, GAC versus Cambridge. Class 6A girls will be Roswell versus Marist at McEachern. And then Friday will be the last games with Class 7A girls, Buford versus West Forsyth. Should be a very entertaining match between both of those teams. As we said, Buford going for the first ever title. West Forsyth kind of establishing a little bit of dominance. Will be looking for their 3rd title in the past 5 seasons. So they've been doing some great things there. So that is the soccer schedule. Again, go to squaretail.com for the latest on that. And then we'll go ahead and kick off my top 5. At number 1, we'll go to golf. So as you guys know, we had some golf area results from this past weekend. So on the girls' side, the leader is Tallulah Falls. They have a team score, and they are the qualifiers from this week. Tallulah Falls at 187, Elbert County 197, and then Athens Christian at 214. So they all qualified. Teams that didn't make it were Commerce with 242, Barrow with 247, and then Bacon County at 271. Individual qualifier, Kenley Powell of Bacon County with a 116 score. Also on the girls' side, Area 2 Division 1, you had Metter with a qualifying score of 178, followed by Bleckley County of 192, and then Claxton of 226 score qualified. Individual qualifier was Lacey Howe of Bryan County with a score of 118. And then 3A, you had Darlington. They qualified with a 141 score, followed by Pepperell with a 199, and then Harrod County of 205. Individual qualifier was Kendall Lowridge of Treon. All right, and then Area 4 Division 1, you had Prince Avenue Christian, score of 166. Atlanta International, 170. And then Mount Pisco 172. Individual qualifier was Elizabeth Morris of Whitefield Academy with 74 score. And then you had Seminole County, Charlton County, and Echoes County qualifying in their area for the state. Individual qualifier was Carissa Ponder. And then Division 2, you have Georgia Military College, Emmanuel County Institute with scores of 223 and 259. No individual qualifiers there. Hawkinsville, Taylor County and Sly County all qualified. Hawkinsville with a score of 215. Taylor County with a score of 242. Sly County with a score of 261. Individual qualifier was Peyton Weeks, Furlough Charter with a score of 106. Then you had Lake Oconee Academy with 158. Christian Heritage with 199. Atlanta Classical with a 249. Individual qualifier there was Kate Johnson of Washington Wilkes with a 138 score. All right, so we'll do a couple more. We'll do 2A and 3A. Pierce County, they qualified for state with a score of 147. Jeff Davis, 194 score. And then the Worth County, 213 score. Individual qualifier was Joanna Rainey of Dodge County with a 97 score. And then you also had H Charter, made it in their area, area 2 of 2A with a score of 177. Individual qualifier was Madison Poff of Rutland with a score of 113. And then you had Athens Academy, Fellowship Christian, Banks County, all qualifying for state. Individual qualifier was Olivia Pierce of East Jackson with a score of 98. And you also had Mount Perrin, North Cobb Christian, Drew Charter, all making it with their scores. Individual qualifier in that area was Georgia Womack of Model with the 83 score. And then you have 3A, so it's the last one we'll look at. Columbus, Upson, Lee, Pike County in Area 1 all made it, followed by Mackenzie Hicks as the individual qualifier with a score of 80. Area 2 was Savannah Christian, Savannah Country Day, and Morgan County all making it. Individual qualifier there was Isabella Tyne Parker of St. Vincent's Academy with a score of 91. Then you had Area 3, Gordon Lee, Bremen, Lafayette, followed by Claire Brown, the individual qualifier in Area 3 from Adairsville. She had a score of 93. Area 4 was White County, Oconee County, Dawson County. Individual qualifier was Emma Shiflett of Hart County with a 75. And then the rest of the results, you guys can go to ghsa.net/2024 GHSA Area Golf results. So they have the full results there of all the qualifiers for golf. I just wanted to go through Class A Division 1 up to 3A, or up to 4A, I should say. All right, so we'll go to, as you guys know, we talked about the track state championships. So just got to give you guys an update on the fastest times so far. So times that were set this past weekend at sectionals, you had Olivia Harris at the GHSA 7A Sectional B in her region with a 52:43 time in the 400 meter. So that's the fastest time in the state as she was able to qualify. So congratulations to her for making state as well and having the fastest time in the state. And she is only a freshman, so that is super cool to see as well. And you had Jasmine Robinson. She is a sophomore from North Cobb High School, GHSA 7A Sectional B. She had the fastest 300-meter hurdle time in the state at 40.51. So she said that this past weekend at sectionals there as well. All right, let's see. And then those are the latest times. So just wanted to give an update there for this past weekend who set the fastest times. Obviously have some great athletes that will be competing in state. Again, go to squaresale.com for the latest on that, for all the champions that will be competing in the state championship. So that's the latest update there. A little bit of news outside of, obviously, girls high school sports, but I remember kind of watching her growing up, especially in the Olympics. That was Kayla Ledecky. So she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom this past weekend. Obviously, she's one of the most decorated athletes in the history of women's swimming. So 7-time Olympic gold medalist Kayla Ledecky received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, at the White House ceremony on Friday afternoon, this past Friday. The Team USA standout is the most decorated women's swimmer in the sport's history. She has 7 Olympic gold medals, also won a total of 21 gold medals at the World Championships, the most of any swimmer regardless of gender. The esteemed world recognizes those who have made exemplary contributions to the prosperity, values, or security of the United States, world peace, or other significant societal, public, or private endeavors, according to the White House press briefing. She's one of 19 medal recipients chosen by the Biden administration. This year, she joins a class that spans the worlds of politics, sports, film, human rights, religion, and science. Her fellow 2024 awardees include Everything Everywhere, All at Once actress Michelle Yeoh, pioneering Hispanic astronaut Dr. Ellen Ochoa, former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, and plus posthumous winners Jim Thorpe, the first Native American to win the Olympic gold medal for the U.S., and assassinated civil rights leader Medgar Evers. All right, so that is the latest there. I wanted to give her a shout out. I thought that was super cool honor, especially how great she was in women's sports, being able to kind of win that as well. All right, at number 4 of the top 5, nation's best high school performance from this past week. So you had some pretty notable ones via SB Live. Guys, go to that and check them out. But Abby Bentecourt, she is from Peabody Veterans Memorial in Massachusetts. She plays softball. She fired a no-hitter with 11 strikeouts and a 6-0 win over Marblehead. Then you had Leanna Bordage. That's how you say her last name. From Gainesville, Florida. She struck out 18 batters and didn't surrender a hit as Gainesville shut out Middleburg 4-0 in the Class 5A District 2 title game. You had Gabby Cruz, Middle Township in New Jersey softball. She threw one hitter with 7 strikeouts, including the 500th of her career in a 2-1 victory over Buena Regional. You had Jenna Fincooter of Johnson Creek softball. She finished the cycle in a 22-11 slugfest over Clinton. The senior finished 5 for 5 with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. You had Sadie Groman of Orma from Utah. She went 5 for 5 in a home run, 4 RBIs, and a 9-3 victory. And a couple more. You had Adriana Janot of Rhode Island. I'll say that name. I don't know how you pronounce that one. She fanned 16 strikeouts, didn't allow a hit in a 5-0 win. And then last but not least is Mia Kruger of Jacera, California. Went 4 for 4 with a pair of doubles, 4 RBIs, and an 11-1 victory over Esperanza. So that is the latest there. So many great athletes all across as well, doing their thing. And it looks like we had a Georgia player make this list as well. So I'll shout out track real quick. Jasmine Robinson of North Cobb, I think I just talked about it. She won the 300 hurdles competition with that 40-51 time. So, yeah, we talked about that earlier. But that is the best athletes. Make sure you go vote, sblive.com. They do a great job of, kind of curating this list, putting it all together of the top athletes and performances from the past weekend. And number 5, to close us out, Brookwood girls soccer players made all-state team. So we talk about that real quick. All right, so those players are Hayden Barnett, Maddie Allen, and Peyton Rhodes. They made the all-star team for 7A girls. So special shout-out to them. They will be playing on the all-star team as the season has already concluded. And then also they had, the Student Athlete of the Year, Hayden Barnett as well. So she had a great season this past year for the Brookwood Broncos. As they had, kind of the turnaround season for them. So special shout out to them and their program and what they were able to accomplish this past year in the soccer world as well. Special shout out to them. But that is all I got. I appreciate you guys tuning in to Keeping It Real with Najeh Wilkins, the girls show. All the latest in girls sports as well.
Finally going to have North Murray.
Okay, yeah, we've been waiting for that one, Craig. But Craig's going to have North Murray on tomorrow to try to talk a little bit about Ladd McConkey. As you guys know, went number 34 to the Chargers, and obviously his star that's going to Georgia Tech, Judson Petty, yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. He did set the record in GHSA with 360 receiving yards this past season. So that'll be a lot of fun. So tune in tomorrow. Drive for the GHSA state title at noon. We will see you guys then, and go to scoretl.com for all the latest in the state championships as spring sports come to a close. See you guys soon, and appreciate you tuning in. Peace.